I would like to say that I am not a World of Warcraft lorehound. I have very little experience with the universe outside of Hearthstone, so this video is specific to the card game. For instance, all I know about Ragnaros is that he is a big angry guy who decided to change class to a paladin, then went away for a little while, and now he is back. I do, however, have a lot of experience with the old gods.
Caress your fear.
As my first legendary was Sothoth, which is a great place to start.
I taste the essence of your soul.
All the old gods have a range of lines based on summoning, attacking, and the like. This adds a level of depth to the cards which cannot be expressed in paper card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. This is on top of the excellent mechanical and artistic expressions which we have previously analyzed.
Give in to your fear.
Sothoth the Corruptor is a representation of Nyarlathotep, as previously mentioned. Nyarlathotep's most distinguishing characteristic is the assimilation of other life forms, and specifically the accumulation of souls, a trait captured well in his sound effect. In the card effect, this capturing of souls is reflected by the ability to resummon all your Death Rattle minions that have died this game. This creates a huge board presence, and can be the win condition for many decks. As the card is 10 mana, it takes up your entire turn's worth of mana, and in order to not fall behind, a 10 mana card has to have an immediate impact on the board, or outright win you the game that turn. Sothoth does not disappoint, and with its second tour in Standard, the card has seen widespread adoption in mid-range, combo, and control decks.
Gorge your hatred. Embrace your rage.
Yasharj, Rage Unbound, is a representation of Shug Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Barely mentioned by Lovecraft, the outer god is characterized by her many offspring. Yasharj is an example of a card which is a prototype for a keyword, like how Ice Howl having charge without the ability to target the hero is a precursor to the keyword Rush. Yasharj recruits a minion at the end of the turn, with no other restrictions. This is the only old god with an end of turn effect rather than a battle cry, which makes the card effect slower, but also enables a different type of strategy. If you can summon a cheap copy of Yasharj from your hand or deck, the recruit effect will still trigger at the end of the turn. This is one of the reasons why Barnes had to be nerfed in Wild, since the 1/1 copy could still recruit a minion, sometimes the 10/10 Yasharaj.
Flee, screaming.
This is a very strong build-around card, enabling decks like Yasharaj Hunter in its run in Standard, and then Big or Resurrect Priests in the current Wild metagame.
Bow down before the god of death.
Yog Sothoth, Hope's End, is a representation of Yog Sothoth. Yog Sothoth is said to be omniscient and perhaps existing as a fifth-dimensional entity, as past, present, and future are all one in Yog Sothoth. The time manipulation is even seen mechanically, as Yog can be affected by his own battle cry, which generally triggers before the minion hits the board. The battle cry in question, though, is chaotic and exciting, a moment that causes a gasp in anticipation. Yog casts a spell for every spell you played this game, with targets chosen randomly. You also receive the overload of any spell which is cast by Yog.
Hope is an illusion.
The expected result is in your favor, but it could pyroblast your own hero. Yog is scary for both players, and yet was used as a win condition in tournament druid decks. This is before the small nerf, which stopped the effect when Yog was removed from the board. Similar to how Sothoth builds a board, Yog can build a board, clear a board, or offer advantage through card draw. Yog is so impactful that Yog Saron's puzzle box was created to add another random spell effect into Standard. But there is one other which better fits the feel of Lovecraft mechanically.
My dreaming ends. Your nightmare begins.
Cthulhu is based on the best known of the Great Old Ones, and the strange form is likely the most recognizable art in the Lovecraft mythos. In his house at Raleigh, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. Like Cthulhu, Cthulhu awakens after the encouragement of cultists. Each one buffs Cthulhu in some way, so when you finally play the minion, it is quite the threat. Dealing damage randomly equal to its attack, Cthulhu immediately contests the board, while also leaving behind a huge minion. Cthulhu can function as the win condition, but it also does something that none of the other cards have done up until this point. It demoralizes your opponent. There is a taunting message each time Cthulhu is revealed, simulated in this video with the insertion of the Cthulhu lines.
Your minions think you are weak.
This functions as a reminder of the coming threat, but it also infects the mind, potentially causing you to misplay. As a personal anecdote, I was with a friend who had never seen Cthulhu before. Each time Cthulhu was buffed, we would say, "Oh no," with increasing anxiety. It got to the point where my friend could win next turn, but the opponent could win if they played Cthulhu. We were on the edge, and with the top deck, Cthulhu came down and served a crushing defeat, but also a terrifying experience. Fear is a stimulant, and mixed with the excitement of being on the cusp of victory, the moment was exhilarating. Cthulhu is excellent card design, and has led to at least one magic moment for me.